ask you about your business model. You basically just shared it with me, given that you've moved on to the consulting side. But generally speaking, I guess what I'll ask you about is what are you teaching your students as far as do you kind of tell your students to just go where their business takes them? Or do you primarily focus on wholesaling and teaching people how to set up their wholesaling business, or do you teach people to kind of look into every venue of making money in real estate, both flips and
yeah, man. So like, I always say like it's a real estate acquisitions business, right? Depending on what you do with it, like no matter what you do with it, like that's up to you. Whether you want to wholesale it, whether you want to wholesale, whether you want to, take it down for yourself. That's obviously up to discretion for whoever's getting the property. But the bulk of the business is in the marketing side and the sales side, right? At least as far as sourcing your own deals, So I do focus primarily on wholesaling, and really just building up a real estate acquisitions company as far as marketing. So I'm really, really focused on marketing, on acquisitions, and yeah, man. So that's basically the majority of what I teach.
Cool. So, I don't want to ask you to give too many of your secrets, but right now, where are you directing most of your students to find deals in 2019, given that it can be such a challenge at times?
For sure, yeah. Like a lot of people think that there's a secret sauce, right? And the reality is that there's certain niches that can work for people, right? But as far as scaling, it's really just about consistency. It's about having an efficient operation. It's about having good, solid people on your team, right? Because, like for example, like the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, that book. Like, have you ever read that book?
I've not. You said the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team? Yep.
So Patrick Lencioni in that book. I mean, it's a great book, by the way. But he outlines, like, just in general. I mean, like a company that has efficient processes of people that are all rowing in the same direction as far as the vision goes, with great people, is going to dominate any market at any point in time, any industry, et cetera, et cetera. Like, so really the people that are going to win and that have been winning in this market right now are the people that have the lean operations, efficient processes, the rock stars. They have the good people on their team. Those are the people that are doing really well right now, right? There's specific, niche lists that you can hit, if you're a little bit smaller of an operation. There's certain ones, like I always teach people to go where other investors are not going, right? Especially in this market, right? Which obviously can only work realistically up to a certain degree, and then you're going to have to, you're going to also have to play in the big pool. But, yeah, like, I mean, I teach my students to get as many lists as they can from the county, from other, and if they need to, going to third-party sources, evictions, probates, right, tax delinquents. But I'm big on stacking, right? So stacking your lists and seeing what people are in multiple motivation points, and attacking narrowly, right? If you're in this stage of the business, attacking those lists narrowly, and hitting hotter niche lists from specific angles as opposed to trying to go broad and wide.
Right.
I think that's where a lot of people are faltering. Actually, there's a lot of places, man. Like I've one of my favorite things to do is, like,